Hey, how's it going? Welcome back, great to see you again. Today we're just packing up the van on a Friday morning to go across to do a fight gig. This is something that we do every 2, 3 or 4 weeks. We go and do a lot of lighting and camera work and the sound and audio and everything for big fight events, boxing, Muay Thai and other stuff in the region. So we put all of our gear into here. There's big speaker stacks up the back there. We've got all our camera gear, we've got all our grip gear and rigging and cabling and power and everything like that in here. And one thing we've been adding to it recently is the ability to live stream these fights. This is something we've been wanting to do for ages. We've done live recorded cuts from all the cameras before using a lot of BlackMagic ATEM gear, and now we've got the ability to actually live stream and use paywalls such as the Vimeo paywall, and we've started doing that, and I wanted to show you some of the gear that we use and how we set it up. So I'm unable to do a lot of that in the venue. I've tried a few times, but we keep getting a lot of music going on in the background and people training and yelling. So I decided just to do the big setup for it here, and then I'll do some cool montage footage of us actually at the venue so that you know we're really doing it. Anyway, what we have always done in the past is cabled all of the cameras through to an ATEM. That's either using really long SDI leads or really long HDMI extenders like this thing here. This is a Digitech Cat5 Extender, and what you do with this thing here, I'll just open the box up and pull it out. It's got a couple of these little boxes in here that have got a bit of power and HDMI in and Ethernet out, and what you do is you hook these up and use the Ethernet cable to get a good reach between the camera and the receiver, and then you can plug that into a mixer that has got HDMI input or something like that. The problem with that is that it takes ages to set these things up and get them working. You've got cables stretched across, 20 or 50 or 100 meters, and sometimes the signal can be not so great if you've got a lot of people with cell phones around. You've got it wrapped up under carpet that people are walking on, or people trip over cables, all those things that you get with cables. So going to a wireless solution for us has been a real game changer. Now we've got hold of some of these. This is the Hollyland 400S Mars Pro, and this thing here lets us just very quickly hook up a sender and receiver between each of our cameras and the ATEM Mini from BlackMagic Design, and that means that straight away we can get 4 wireless cameras hooked up to the ATEM and do a live cut that way. We're also moving to the BlackMagic ATEM Extreme, which gives us 8 inputs. That means we can have 4 cameras on the ring, a couple of cameras on commentators, for example, maybe a backstage camera, and a really good wide shot for between fights when nothing much is really happening. So this is going to give us a really good show, and all wirelessly, so we can set it up really quickly. And we mix all of this together and broadcast it from the ATEM Mini, as I was just saying. And the ATEM Extreme is going to let us have all of those extra cameras. The other thing that we use is the YOLO Box from Yololive. That's this great little thing here. That takes a couple of HDMI inputs, so we can take the webcam feed out of the ATEM Mini and straight into the YOLO Box, and from there this can multicast out to either Vimeo, YouTube, Facebook, up to 4 platforms at the same time. And that way we can get a really wide reach out. We can use paywall services, custom RMTP, and all of these neat things that we want to do. Another really important thing to keep in mind when you're doing streaming from live venues like this is to make sure that you're using lighting that works well. That isn't going to cause any kind of banding or strobing. For example, if you're using a fluorescent light or a normal incandescent light, sometimes they will be flashing at the same line frequency as your power source. So in New Zealand we're on a 50 Hertz line frequency, which means all of our lights are going to be going flash, flash, flash 50 times a second. A really good quality LED panel will have a delay across the LEDs in it, so it's got an extra bit of circuitry in there, and it means that some of the LEDs are always powered on and you're never going to get that strobing effect. The cameras that we use for shooting live events are not some of the ones that a lot of people immediately think of. We've gone for the Sony CX625 Handycam here, which is a nice simple little HD Handycam, but it has a Bion sensor in it, and more importantly, it has a combination of physical and digital stabilization. So we can get a very, very clean image out of this, and it's a great sensor that works really well in low light. And the other camera we use is the AX53. This is a 4K version of the same thing. Once again, it's got a fantastic Bion sensor, and it has a mixture of physical and digital stabilization in it as well. And we get absolutely fantastic quality off both of these cameras. They're really lightweight, so it's great to either bind to a ring pole or have somebody hold in the corner, and we do a combination of these things at fight events. In the white corners we have people standing on the ring side with these cameras just bound to the turnbuckles on the corners, and we have the physical ones bound to the ring posts in the coloured corners, and that combination gives us a really good look across the ring, as you can see in some of this footage here that we've got from some recent fights. The other great thing about these cameras is that they take batteries that will last up to 5 or 6 hours during the shoot, and we can shoot an entire event on a single 256 gig memory card, all at 4K or HD depending on the camera, and at a pretty high bit rate as well. So that's the gear that we set up when we're doing live streaming from events these days. We're hoping to get some better gear, and as we get new stuff and bring it along, we'll tell you guys about that. We're also after some independent wireless microphone technology that I've got coming soon. I'm really looking forward to showing that, and if you want to see videos about that and new camera gear that we get and the different lenses that we're going to try out, click down here and subscribe. And also you can check out this video and this video, which are also going to help you out, because YouTube picked those ones just for you because they know that this is the stuff you like, so it only makes sense to go and look at it, really, doesn't it? I'll see you in another video soon.